Hi Matt, can you introduce yourself?
Sure, Peter. My name's Matt Beretta, and I'm one of the youth pastors at Church of the City. And I've worked here for a couple years, and I've been a youth pastor and do a lot of public speaking with that for about 10 years.
Okay, so what do you think makes someone an effective speaker?
Yeah, I think clarity is really important to be an effective speaker. I also think that confidence is really important. I think that when you're confident as a speaker, your audience assumes that you know what you're talking about. And so confidence can really help anybody be effective as a speaker.
Okay, so what do you think makes someone a good communicator?
Sure, so with a good communicator, I think a lot of similarities that would also go into being a good speaker. I think another thing that helps a lot is being well prepared, knowing your material. I think finding ways to engage your audience. So, some people like to move around a lot, but you don't need to move around a lot. Some people like to use humor, but you don't have to. I think the key is, what are the ways that you as a communicator connect personally with your audience? And humor, movement, stories, personal examples, those are all different devices that can help be an effective communicator.
Okay, so what has helped you the most in your speaking ability?
Yeah, I think that the first thing that's helped me the most in speaking is just practice and repetition and doing it. It's the kind of thing I really do think the more you do it, the better you'll get. No matter what the environment is, just experience really helps. Another thing that's helped me is learning by observing other communicators. Even if their style is different from mine, I think anytime I listen to and watch another communicator, there's things I can pick up from them. Another thing that helps is asking people who I trust to give me feedback after I've spoken, and even watching video of myself speaking. And to be honest, I don't know if you've done that before, the first handful of times I watched myself, I really hated it. Like, it's weird hearing your own voice and watching yourself on a screen, but I do think it's really helpful to look at yourself on video after you've presented something.
Okay, so have you modeled your speaking style after anyone?
No, I don't think I've modeled my speaking style after any one specific person, but I do think that different communicators I've spent a lot of time learning from. I've taken elements from them, so like one example would definitely be the pastor here at our church, Darren. I've spent a lot of time with Darren over the years, and so while I wouldn't go as far as to say I've modeled my style completely from him, I've picked up things from him, and that's true of probably a handful of different communicators.
Okay, so how does being a Christian influence your communication or speaking?
Yeah, that's such a good question, and first of all, I would say that it probably should influence it even more than it does. Like, I don't think this is something I do perfectly, but I try to, anytime I speak, have a lot of grace and kindness in my tone and in my words. I think that's one way my faith has influenced how I want to be as a communicator. I think there's some effective communicators who have a real kind of sharp like edge to them. They almost use kind of anger or power to get their point across, and I try not to do that. And so even applying that to like my use of humor, I try not to tell stories that need sarcasm to be funny, or try not to tell stories that need to put other people down or make people look bad to prove my point. And in fact, I try to use, if I'm telling personal stories, to tell stories in which I'm not the hero, and that present me in a humble way. So those are some ways that being a Christian has hopefully influenced my speaking.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.